couple of years after they made Where Eagles Dare together, director Brian G. Hutton and star Clint Eastwood teamed up once again for the action-adventure Kelly's Heroes. The story for this film follows this sergeant played by Eastwood who realises or finds out that there is a bank in a town being guarded by German soldiers, and they are very close to it. And if they can get past those German soldiers, they could get to the millions and millions of pounds worth of gold that is being stored in the bank. For anyone who's seen the more modern film, Three Kings, think that, but in a World War II setting. This is so. Again, if you've seen Where Eagles Dare, which is the first film that I talked about, that again Brian G. Hutton directed, Eastwood starred in, that was like an team adventure movie set in war, again involving Nazis and whatnot. A lot more straight-laced. This one, I feel like they're having a lot more fun with. There's a lot more humour in this one. There's a lot more quirky characters. The story itself is just a little bit more kind of over the top. It's going against the grain of what a soldier should be doing, which is following orders and doing things by the book and this, that, and the other. This is they're taking it upon themselves to do their own mission in order for financial gain. And like I say, it's fun. Donald Sutherland in particular is extremely fun in this film. So he plays this kind of stoned out tank captain. He's got 3 tanks and a team who kind of follow his orders, and they just kind of lay about all day pretending that they're out of action or this, that, and the other. And it's just funny to watch because I've always seen Donald Sutherland in these more serious roles, sometimes quite sinister. You know, I think of him as President Snow in the Hunger Games movies, or you think of him as the mournful father in Don't Look Now and films like that, things like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He's always been the more serious kind of player for me from the stuff I've seen him in. So to see him here as this kind of laid back, yeah man, stoner, kind of talking about good vibes all the time and chewing out one of his men for bringing in the negative vibes, and it's just, I just found the guy hilarious throughout. Telly Savalas is in this as Kelly's commanding officer, kind of gets roped into the deal. I feel like there's respect between these two men, but it's kind of a case of Kelly's going to do this with or without you, so like, are you in or are you out? I've never been particularly drawn to Savalas as an actor, but that being said, I've not seen him in a right lot. I mostly know him as Blofeld in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and he never made that much of an impact on me in that film, although that character has never been particularly impactful throughout the Bond series, so I'm not so sure that's down to him. Here, I really like the guy. There's a lot of warmth about him. I get the sense that this is the guy that people would follow into battle, that do have respect for and want to listen to. I think director Hutton once again handles the action really well. There's some really great action set pieces. Towards the end, there's some stuff involving these tanks going at each other, which I think is really well handled. Not just from an action side of things, but also a comedy side of things. There's a particular moment when a tank gets stuck, can't quite turn its turret, which cracked me up no end. It's very entertaining. I feel like we're on a completely different kind of adventure here to what we were with Where Eagles Dare. Clint Eastwood, once again, brings what Clint Eastwood brings to a film, which is that dry, kind of humorous but dark-edged sensibility about him. You believe that this guy could break you in half with his stare, but also kind of has got a real sense of humour, playful sense of humour. And that's Eastwood's star power. And he's just as watchable here as he ever is. Don Rickles is pretty amusing as well as Sergeant Crapgame, which is a nice name. So he plays this guy who's pretty much he'll do anything for money. He seems like he's just constantly working deals, constantly playing people, and trying to get a good deal out of any situation. But it works obviously in Kelly's favour to use a man like this and to get him to do what he does best in order to get him across the lines and into the bank. But like I say, it's one of those movies where you come to it for the characters, the interplay between them, the team dynamic, and the humour, and it's just entertainment. Unlike Where Eagles Dare, which again that was a more serious film, but also that it doesn't have any female characters in it like that film did. This is very much a man's film. It's a bunch of male characters going on a mission, and I'm okay with that. It's a certain kind of film from a certain kind of period, which if they made today, they would probably find some way to fill out the quota of different characters. But I'm okay with it being what it needs to be. In a time when men went to war and that was it, this is a suitable kind of representation of that, but in an amusing, entertaining way. Where Eagles Dare and Kelly's Heroes do make a really good kind of brother and sister to each other, I think. Both war films, both made by the same team, but depending on your mood, one will be better. I couldn't really say which one is better because they're just completely kind of different in tone. One is just straight-laced kind of spy movie, like action adventure. It is an action adventure, but it's totally different tone. It's more humorous. It's more fun, and I think it just comes down to what you're after on the day. But yeah, for this, I had a blast with it. It is a film that I would imagine myself watching again at some point in the future. Kelly's Heroes. What did you think about it? Have you seen the movie? Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. And until next time, cracking.